On the AT&T text line at 37937, your expectations on this team, and I've struck a nerve with Red Sox fans today. Before we get to that, so you got a Koji story from your time in Asia, Japan?
2000. I was over there playing the Tokyo Giants. Hideki Matsui's on that team.
Yeah, they're one of the well-known teams,
they were
right?
the Yankees over there, at the time. Okajima on that team, and a young kid, Koji Uehara. Well, a young kid, but he was coming off a rookie year. I think he was like 20-4 with a 1-point-something his rookie year. So we go into Tokyo Dome early on, and I'm still trying to get used to it. It was early in the season, still trying to get used to the ways of Japanese baseball, how they do things. And so I get there, and it was early on in the year. It was sort of like, all right, righty-lefty type situation. Who do we got? Who they throw? And they say, well, my interpreter's like, well, on the way to the park, one of three guys. Maybe Koji Uehara, maybe this guy was a lefty, or maybe this guy was another righty. I'm like, so who we pitching? And he's like, well, they wouldn't tell me who our starting pitcher was because they'd keep it a secret, and they were afraid that I was going to tell the other American on the other team who was starting for us.
Does that happen every game? Like you go to the ballpark and not know who the starter was? There's no 5-day projected lineup to set your fantasy baseball lineup?
Not only for your own team?
No, because they were afraid the American was going to tell the other American, and the other team was going to find out. Like if I
didn't trust you?
No, they didn't. Basically, no, and they wouldn't tell me. Who's pitching for us? Well, we can't tell you. And I was like, what do you mean? Oh, am I going to go tell Reggie Jefferson? I'm going to tell my boy, Big Reg, Uncle Reg. Reg, we got a lefty going today, whatever. So they wouldn't tell me. So we walk into Tokyo Dome. I'm like, so we don't know who's pitching? So first off, when you in Japan, you get dressed in a hotel. And you jump on the bus, uni.
That's comfortable.
Okay? Full uni.
Not cleats.
No spikes, but whatever. Shower shoes or just turfs or whatever. Full uni on the bus. Get to the stadium, kind of walk in, but you walk in the field, you go down the dugout into the clubhouse where everybody just smokes and puts on their spikes, and just has 4 or 5 cigarettes in 20 minutes, and then gets ready in the field to stretch out. So when we walk on the field, Koji Uehara is sitting at shortstop with their shortstop Nishi, who was really good player. They got some good shortstops over there, but this kid was a good player. An older guy, not the Nishi I think that was over here, and he's taking ground balls. And he's throwing them across the diamond. During
warm-ups.
BP, in warm-ups, during batting practice.
Lobbing them or actually throwing them like a shortstop?
Throwing like a shortstop. So I looked at my interpreter, and I'm like, well, this kid Uehara's not pitching, because he was the big guy, 20-4, 160 the year before. No, he's not. I'm like, he's not pitching. He's like, well, Lusan, you never know. They might be trying to trick us.
Lusan.
They don't want us mentally to get prepared for Uehara. They might trick us somewhat, and throw him, who knows. So we go in, we get dressed. I come back out 20 minutes later, he's still taking ground balls. I watched him take 2 or 3 backhands in the hole and hose it to first base. Air it out. So I looked at Bobby Rose, another guy who was on my team, the American, who was older, kind of played with the California Angels when they were there, and they moved over. He's been in Japan for many years. And I said, Bobby, there's no way this guy can pitch. Look at him right now. He's airing it out. He's like, I'll tell you what, I bet you he does. I bet you he does. I said, no way. He goes, look, seriously, they're trying to, this is what they do. They kind of get in your head.
Trying to mind blank you.
At about 6:30, when the starting pitcher goes out to get loose, they announce the lineups. And they get, and I never really understand it, but I just hear the last name sometime, whatever. All of a sudden, Matsui, I was, hey, everybody goes nuts. So then they get to the bottom, and all of a sudden it's, Uehara. And he comes walking out of the dugout and go warm up. Place blows up, and I'm just shaking my head like, I can't believe this kid's throwing right now. I just saw him take 30 minutes of infield, airing it out to the first base, backhands plant, 90 across the diamond, at 4:30 in the 5 o'clock in the afternoon? And he went out there and pitched that night.
How'd he pitch?
Shoved. Guy was legit. There's no question. Fastball split. He is exactly the type of guy that I feel better about now that I'm, coming back in America. Because I was over there, and right away, interpreter, give me, what is 90 miles an hour? He said 145.
Oh, because they're tracking kilometers, not miles per hour. So 145 kilometers per hour up on the scoreboard for you would mean 90. Okay,
90, yeah. So I was like, okay. And he'd see him throw a pitch, and you're like, 145. All right, 90. And this was not just Koji. This was everybody. And, of course, now in watching Koji, his 90-89 just looks like 100 because it's blowing by guys. But that's why a lot of guys were over there. 88, 90, 91. I come back, I'm telling you, your math is way off, dude. Are you just messing with me? That is not 89, 90. That is 96. Because they're hiding it, they're short-arming it, there's a pause in their delivery, there's all sort of deception. Yeah, Koji... just 90 miles an hour, still about probably 92 back then. A little bit younger. I think he was 24 years old, the 25 in that range. Yeah, just taking ground balls, Imagine going like somewhere and just watching like Verlander at short during the Tigers infield, just airing it out. Just airing it out at
Then he
shortstop
starts
for like
that
30
night?
minutes. And then goes 8 strong. 1 run that night. Starts. Unheard of.
I just
Those
can't
guys
believe they
just
don't
throw.
announce starting rotations like a week ahead of time like they do here. How do they do that?
They don't tell me the day game, who's pitching on my team.
Did you do something to deserve that, or do they just not trust you? Like, did you go and tell one of the Americans maybe like a week or two before?
No, it wasn't me, but I'm sure that might have happened in the past. That's probably why they don't do it. Like I had friends, I had guys. Andy Abad was over there. I played with him in minor leagues forever. He was on another team. I'd have absolutely no problem giving him a scouting report on everybody on my team, on my pitching staff. I had absolutely no problem, and they probably knew it.
Freaking Americans, Joey. Unbelievable.
I would.
Andy Abad.
Believe me, I'd be like, hey, who's starting tonight? Give me everything. What do you got on him? How's he going to attack me? What's he going to? It was pretty much straightforward for every American. You weren't going to get a fastball. That's what they thought everybody could hit. You had to learn how to hit a breaking ball, curveball, split. There was no, they pitched me like I was Barry freaking Bonds. First pitch split, 1-0 slider, 2-0 split, 3-1 breaking ball, and I'd pop up somewhere, and the next guy first pitch fastball right down the crapper. And the Japanese guys hit the double in the gap. And I'm like, yeah, you're getting heaters down the middle, man. They don't want to give up a hit to me.
So they pitch you the same way the college kids do in Bucks game. They throw you all off speed. They won't give you a fastball down the middle. That's
No.
good. I like
Those guys go heater. They respect the age. They know I can't hit. You know what I mean? I can't even touch a heater right now.
Texter says, Lou, is this supposed to make us feel better about this season? He's lucky he still has a right arm. He's thrown so many innings.
Well,
that's part of Lou's point.
Boy, number one, he's used to it.
Okay. Yeah,
but
sure.
It's a lot of wear and tear. I always tell that story of like the first day of spring training. We were in Okinawa, 2-month spring training. How like down here, like in America, it's like 1 week of practice, maybe, and then you get in the games. Over there, it's
that
like
final week where you go to the Atlanta Braves, the Baltimore Orioles, play one or two games.
It's 4 weeks of practice, getting in shape. And I remember day one, Okinawa. Like Mr. Miyagi said, Japan here, Okinawa here. And I go there, and there's this guy throwing a bullpen at like 8:30 in the morning. And we stretch out. And we play catch. And we do our cute little running thing. I mean, straight out of Mr. Baseball. I mean, there's no exaggeration. But
I love the music.
One
from
of the
Mr.
most
Baseball.
accurate baseball movies was Mr. Baseball.
The in-stadium stuff really happens? Like the lights, the sound?
No question. I couldn't
Really?
get over how accurate that movie was.
Huh.
They did a great job. So then we're done stretching, whatever. We're going to go to a different field. And now it's about 10:30. And I walk by the cage, and the guy's still throwing the mound. The guy's still throwing a bullpen. Like a 2-hour bullpen. I'm like, what? I said, Joe, my interpreter is Joe Furukawa. He went to Cal Berkeley, played baseball there, so he was really Americanized. He spoke English really, really well. As a matter of fact, he sucked as an interpreter because he could barely read Japanese. But he was a great man. And I said, Joe, what are we doing here, man? 2-hour bullpen. Hey, what pitch are we on? He's like, 350. He was injured last year. He's trying to prove to the manager that he's healthy. I said, well, that's nice. He just proved it. Now he blew out again. 350 pitch bullpen like day one to prove that the arm injury he had the year before was perfectly healed. What are we doing here?
Kid, we'll get him next inning.
There ain't going to be a next inning.
What are you talking about? It's 4-4.
No game can continue after 15 innings.
So when do we make it up?
Been there.
No, I'm sorry, baby. It's over.
Been there.
It's 4-4. A ball game can't end in a goddamn tie.
Yakult Swallows. First tie in my life.
Who does?
What? First tie ever. What do you... Lou, by the way, this is the last inning. What do you mean it's the last inning, Bobby? They still have ties? Yep. The train system closes. Everybody's got to get home. Wow. Everyone's so proud, too.
Ties in the standings in baseball.
Yeah.
The kissing your sister.
In one league, I think it's the 15th inning. The other league, it's the 13th. Or it might even be like 13th and 11th. Each league has a different amount of innings you can go because of transportation, trains. Crazy.
Well, I like that. I like this. Give me story day today. I think I might need some more of these stories.
Oh, there's a couple.
Over the course of the day. 617-779-7937 is your phone number. The AT&T text line is 37937. Talking about expectation for the Red Sox. Your phone call's coming up. And speaking of geography in Japan and Asia, some texters not happy with us want to inform us of a mistake we've made when it comes to Japan and Asia. Read just some of those texts when we come back, and we'll talk to you here on 93.7 WEEI.